Only 53 players can be on an NFL roster at one time. So how do these 53 players get chosen? 53 times 32 is 1,696 players. That's almost 1,700. So 1,700 of the nation's best football players compete in the National Football League. What happens when you're one of these 1,700 and you stop performing? If you're a solid player and you do your job over and over again, and then you have a lousy day at the job, are there better players outside of that? 1,700 is a relatively small number, especially when compared to the population of the United States, which is 328 million people. So 1,700 versus 328 million. If you don't do your job, there's 328 million people that can replace you. So this is what happened to a lot of these players. A lot of these players didn't perform one day on the job. For a lot of these players, it was over and over again. They had some bright spots, but they ultimately lost their starting role. And that's what we're here to talk about today. It's Mike from True Business Review. And today we're looking at some players that didn't make the cut. They were a starter at their position, and ultimately it didn't work out. We're going to start out with Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins was selected 15th overall in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft. That's just a year and a half ago, and he's in this video for players that are not starting. So Haskins did get his chance at quarterback. He started a total of 13 games in his career. 13 games. How many games did he win? 3 wins. He had a completion percentage of 60%, which is below average, and then 2,800 yards. Divide that by the 16 games he played. He started 13, but he had 16 games where he played in. So divide 16 and 2,800, and you get 175 yards per game. That's not that good. There's a reason Dwayne Haskins is not a starting quarterback anymore, especially when you look at his touchdowns and interceptions. He has more career interceptions than touchdowns. Dwayne Haskins, it obviously didn't work out in Washington, and his play was not the only reason. Apparently, there was a lot of off-the-field issues. There were rumors about him being late to meetings and everything, so that played a huge factor. In fact, yesterday, at the time of this video, Dwayne Haskins went unclaimed on waivers, and he is now a free agent. R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins. Does he deserve to be picked up by another team? His on-the-field play was not that convincing, but he was a 15th overall pick, so we'll have to see if someone takes the chance. Next up, we're going to go with Cody Parkey. Oh, this is a brutal one. So Cody Parkey has been in the league for a long time. 2014 is on the Eagles 2015. Then he goes to Cleveland. He's doing pretty well this time. With the Eagles, he went 32 out of 36 on actual field goals, not including PATs. Then with Cleveland in 2016, 20 out of 25, decent. Miami, 21 out of 23, that's pretty solid. And then he goes to Chicago. We all know the NFC wildcard game. Ba-boom, ba-boom, the double doink. Oh, let's just say it's fair enough to say that Cody Parkey, after that, he was not the starter at his position anymore for Chicago. Bears fans were a little bit upset. And seeing reactions from all their fans, upset might be a bit of an understatement. That year with Chicago, not even at double doink, he was having the worst year of his career. 23 out of 30 on field goals, and also he had 3 missed extra points. Brutal for Chicago, and Cody Parkey definitely, it was a mutual understanding they were going to part ways after that kick, and Cody Parkey now is on the Cleveland Browns. Up next is Nathan Peterman. Oh, okay, so Nathan Peterman, he was on the Bills in 2017 and 2018. So due to injuries and quarterback struggling and whatnot, he was named the starter for his team's Week 11 game against the Los Angeles Chargers. So during this game, Peterman threw for, 5 interceptions in the first half and was relieved by the other quarterback at the start of the second half. 5 interceptions in 30 minutes of football. Really nice job, Nathan Peterman, in your big shot. Really good job. So he did start the Week 14 game against the Colts as well, which was played during a snowstorm. He only completed 5 of his 10 passes and a touchdown before leaving in the third quarter with a concussion. Oh, and then on January 7th, 2018, he entered the wild card round game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. With a minute left in the fourth quarter, he comes in after his quarterback is injured, and they need a game-winning drive. They're down 10-3. What does he do? Throws a game-ending interception. It's a sad story, but Nathan Peterman, not a quarterback anymore, and I doubt he gets his chance ever again. Who gets to follow up Nathan Peterman? We're going to give that honor to Jameis Winston. I feel like it's a good fit. Jameis Winston, I'm actually I was surprised when he was cut by the Buccaneers. So in 2019, that was his year to shine, really. He threw for a career-high 33 touchdown passes in 2019. Wow, that's an impressive stat compared to a lot of other quarterbacks. 33 touchdown passes by over 5,000 yards. That's actually a pretty good number. 30 interceptions. Oh my gosh. Career-high touchdowns, career-high interceptions. He left it all on the line, but 30 interceptions is way too high. It's ridiculous. That's a crazy number in the NFL. So Jameis Winston lost his starting job. Now he's with the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, it's tough because 33 touchdowns is impressive, but the interception is definitely worrisome. Is he going to get his chance with the Saints? Taysom Hill played pretty good while Drew Brees was out, and the Saints went with him over Jameis Winston already. So when Drew Brees retires, presumably this year, I feel like the Saints are going to lean a little bit heavier towards Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston, so Winston might not see another chance as our starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. Tough luck. The next player we're going to talk about has led a team to a Super Bowl. We're talking about Carson Wentz. Oh, this is a sore spot for me. I'm an Eagles fan. But Carson Wentz, no longer the Eagles starting quarterback. He blew his shot. I don't know. He threw for 15 interceptions in 12 games started in 2020. That's this year. He wasn't on pace to break Winston's, 30 interceptions or anything. But 15 interceptions through about 3/4 of the season, that's still very worrisome. He was missing a lot of wide open guys. But honestly, the team wasn't helping in a lot of different ways. They put in Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is performing. So it looks like Carson Wentz's time in Philadelphia has come to an end. He did lead his team to a solid first seed in the NFC, but it looks like Philadelphia wants to part ways, especially because of how he's been playing as of late. A quarterback rating of just 72.8, his worst of his career. Tough year for Wentz, and the Eagles are not going to show him any love. He's gone most likely out of Philly. Another player out of Philly, not sure what Philly's doing wrong, Nelson Agholor. Agholor, he was definitely a really solid player for the Eagles in 2017, the year of the Super Bowl. He had a really good game in the Super Bowl, had some good games in the playoffs. Agholor looked like a really solid player. In fact, I made a whole video on this. You guys should go check it out. I'll put the iCard in the top right. Agholor was a good player for Philadelphia, had a lot of big catches, a lot of 2019 strikes, and he's horrible. He's the worst wide receiver in the league. At least 3 game-costing plays. He had some fumbles against Detroit, the huge drop against Atlanta, and he had some drops against the Patriots as well. Not just drops. I'm talking about deep end zone touchdown plays. He doesn't make the catch, and, that's why he's not a starter for the Eagles. You know what's funny, though? He is a starter in the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders decided to pick him up, give him a chance at wide receiver, and he's having the best year of his career. 840 yards receiving, which is his career high by far, and 8 touchdowns, which ties his high, which came in 2017, his best year besides this year, obviously. He's averaging 10.8 yards per target, and he's really good. He's looking like a really good receiver for Las Vegas, and Philadelphia is definitely missing him with all of those drops right now that they're having. Then we have David Johnson. David Johnson, he didn't really lose his job, but they basically told him, yeah, we don't want you here. You can go work at this different company. The Cardinals traded David Johnson like he was a bag of beans, honestly. They traded him for like he was nothing. And they got DeAndre Hopkins. So really, the Cardinals definitely made out pretty solid in that trade. But David Johnson, on the other hand, the reason he lost his job in Arizona was injuries. He wasn't horrible as their franchise running back, but he definitely had his ups and downs for sure. He broke 1,000 yards rushing just once in his career. He got close in 2018, but 2016 was the only year where he actually broke it. And he only had over 7 touchdowns twice. And it was his first 2 years of his career. So I guess age was a concern. Not only that, he had a lot of injuries. And when you get injured, there's always a player that's going to kind of come in and fill that void. I guess that was Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds for the Cardinals. David Johnson was out of a job in Arizona. And the final player we're going to be talking about is Marcus Mariota. Mariota? Who cares? This Marcus Mariota, when the Tennessee Titans got rid of him, I was actually really surprised. He looked really solid as a rookie. 2,900 yards, 19 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions. He also had a little bit of mobility, which was a little bit promising as well. Next season, another 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, even better. A lot of people in the NFL thought he was going to be one of the best young quarterbacks, one of the rising stars in the league. And then the Titans went 9-7. They made the playoffs. It's a pretty decent 9-7 record. He did finish with a little bit less than last year, 3,200 yards. But in the playoffs, he went into Arrowhead Stadium, one of the hardest places to play, and he defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. But that was the end of his success in the playoffs. They obviously lost to the Patriots in a big blowout. And from that point on, it was never the same. He definitely was not having a great career after that. 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in 6 starts. And they also only went 2-4 in those 6 games, which made Mike Vrabel make a change under center, and he put in Ryan Tannehill. And from that point forward, Marcus Mariota has not seen a play as a starting quarterback until he signed with the Raiders and Derek Carr suffered an injury. He actually looked pretty solid, and I'm not surprised. Marcus Mariota, I think he's a decent enough quarterback to be a starter somewhere in the league. He just needs opportunity to strike his way. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the subscribe button. We're so close to our goal of 10 million subscribers. We're getting there.